losers, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today, it is Women's History Month, and I'd like to talk about some books by some authors I really love, some books written by female horror authors that I'd love to share with you, to recommend with you. You know, you might want to pick them up and really experience some true fucking horror. First on my list, Catriona Award, but specifically Sundial, which is one that I really loved. You want to check out content warnings for this. There is some stuff pertaining to dogs that is kind of sad, but as somebody who doesn't like that, I feel like there is a reason behind it. It's not mindless in this book, which makes it more palatable in my opinion. This is like an interesting like dual timeline story where woman Rob is dealing with some stuff with her daughter that reminds her of some stuff in her own past as a child growing up in this like weird like compound almost that her parents were like unconventional. And so she brings her daughter to the place she grew up, Sundial, and she's kind of like rehashing this stuff in her past, right? With her sister, things that happened with her sister. She's going through these memories, and she's also trying to deal with like this horrible marriage that she has, and her husband's kind of twisted her daughter Callie and made her, I don't know, her daughter's just like acting weird and everything's all twisted up, and she's trying to untangle it while also untangling this past stuff. And you know, there's like this big event that happened in the past, and it's like all leading up to this big climax, and it's really a really layered, interesting book that's really fast-paced, and I was just dying to figure out what was going on here. And this book did not disappoint me. Next is Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt. This is a really interesting book where these two characters share this like horrible past experience where one of their friends disappeared in this creepy ass house, and they have to kind of like confront this house again. And you really don't know exactly what happened to their friend. Like, their friend can't be like alive in there still, but you really don't know what happened. And it's really a really intense book, and there's a lot of intense stuff that happens in this book. So again, check content warnings, but this was a really impactful book, very creepy imagery, sad and weird and troubling. Then I'd like to recommend A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I also really loved her most recent book, An Education in Malice. This one is about Dracula's brides. Specifically, we're following Constanta in this one, his like very first bride, and you know, starting out, that his brides do kill him, but you wonder why, like what happens. So you follow this like centuries long like affair, I guess, with him and his lovers, and like what happens. Why is Dracula such a bad guy? Like, why do they want to fucking murder him? But it's like lovely, the writing is so good, and it's oh god, it's like bloody and sumptuous and gorgeous. Then I'd like to recommend The Reformatory by Tanana Reevdu, really just any of Tanana Reevdu's books. This one is really a great historical horror book about two siblings, Gloria and Robbie. This takes place in like the 50s down south, and Gloria is kind of taking care of Robbie because of their like a family situation that's like really not ideal. And Robbie gets sent to a reformatory school, which is like really not a great place to be. Like, if you make it out alive, it's a miracle kind of a place. And while he's there, he discovers that he can see the ghosts of the boys who have been murdered there. And he's like trying to survive this place, and Gloria is trying to discover a way to like find justice for him and get him out of here, because one, she doesn't think he should be here, and two, she knows it's like super fucking dangerous that he's been sent here. And so it's like this really great book about the love between these siblings, and just this harrowing book where he's kind of, you know, Robbie's trying to like make sure he doesn't die in this place where it's almost set up to find a reason to kill these boys, you know what I mean? It's really sad, but so great. And Tananarive Du's writing is so full of soul, and her characters are like living beings. It's so wild. Her writing is so fantastic, and I can't recommend her enough. Next, I would like to recommend Samantha Koilesnik. Her books were out of print for a while, but I just checked. You can buy them again, although they do have different covers. I'm not sure if she's just not with Grindhouse anymore. I'd like to recommend both Waif and True Crime. Waif is a little strange and sexy. This is about a woman named Angela who's like deeply unhappy in her marriage, like truly the definition of a toxic relationship, like that gets thrown around so much. But like, this is a relationship where these people aim to hurt each other, and Angela becomes obsessed with this random stranger, and it causes this strange downward spiral in her marriage, and she ends up, I don't know, I don't want to say any more than that. It's just very weird and kind of gross and wonderful. And then True Crime is about siblings in a abusive household. Okay, yeah, so they do end up murdering their mom. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't spoil that. And after that, they flee from home and go on like a murder spree. And this is a book where there's just so many like really poignant moments and passages in this where it's like, oh, I'm just being a woman. It's like, right here, like this is it. This passage, the main character in this comes across so many characters where it's just devastating sometimes. And not that a woman's experiences, not every person a woman comes in contact with is like a slobbering, disgusting person, but you know, I feel like a lot of female presenting people. But yeah, either of her books, I'm not sure if she's published more, but those were both really great. And then lastly, I'd like to recommend Crossroads by Laurel Hightower. If you're looking for grief and horror, like look no further. This book is gonna make you feel bad, but it's so good. This is about a woman named Chris whose son dies in a car accident, and she's made like one of those like roadside graves, and she visits that often. And at one of those visits, she has like a little cut on her hand or something like that, and some of the blood drips down into like this little grave site. And after that, she realizes that she can give some of her body and see bits of her son. And it's like, how much, what are you willing to give to see your dead child? And it's just like, oh, so terrible and sad. So terrible and sad. So good. So, those are some of my very, very favorite horror books written by female authors. So good. Highly recommend any one of these. I think you're gonna have a really good time with. Of course, check for content warnings. I do like to read some dark and disturbing things, of course. So your mileage may vary, but like I said, I think you might have a good time with at least one of these on this list. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought about them, what your favorite books written by female authors are. I'd love to have some good recommendations for myself, of course, as well. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great March, everybody. I will see you later. Goodbye.